Brightest blessings, everyone. Elizabeth Grove here, the Paranormal Priestess. Welcome to the Paranormal Priestess YouTube channel, and thank you for joining me. And if you are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Elizabeth. I am a medium, divine channeler, remote spirit extractor, white witch, and divine alchemist. And I also happen to be a divine feminine on the path of ascension. I have a video that is kind of triggering for some of you, but it's one that's really, really important for the collective right now. I think it's important regardless, but it's coming up a lot within the collective. Before I get into this video, which I know will help you guys, I just want to say that my work is open to everyone, so this is not just a twin flame channel, especially if you're new. I am a twin flame on the twin flame journey, sacred partnership journey. Many of you who watch this, who have subscribed to our clients, I know you are too. But my work is for anyone going through a spiritual awakening, anyone who is already awakened, going into a deeper or higher awakening. I am here to communicate with your team of light, which are your angels, your star beings, your star races, your star councils, helpers on the other side, even family members. And we do very direct communication, so there's no cards within the readings that I do. And we go into the different details of different areas of your life, of your path, to help uncover what's going to help you to move forward, moving into the best version of you, and whatever that means on your journey, whether it means being with a twin flame in the physical, whether it's having a sacred partnership with somebody else, which can be absolutely beautiful and fulfilling, whether it means abundance, health, all of the above. We're looking to help you, so that way it's going to get you back to you, get you back to source, and you'll be in that union consciousness of just attracting the best of everything. Okay, I'm also here for light language healing sessions. So I do light language for the collective on the videos that I do, but I certainly offer private sessions as well. So if you feel like you're drawn to doing more shifting, more activating, clearing out certain chakras, clearing out certain blockages that are there, having certain things within you activate, higher understanding, higher connections with your heart, with your mind, higher connections with your abilities, with your gifts, I am here for that. And I'm also here as a specialized spirit extractor where all the work is remote. I do go case by case. Sometimes I'm on and off with doing this work because it's very taxing on me. So if you are having these issues, if you are having interferences or attachments, and you are guided to, I hope you're guarded, yes. If you're unsure how to do that, I will certainly assist you with that. But if you are guided, reach out to me. For all my services, reach out to me for readings, for light language, for remote spirit extraction. All the inquiries go to theparanormalpriestess.com, to my contact page. Not on social media. I am not really a social media bug, to be honest with you. The best way to really reach me is going to be through my website, and I like to keep everything in one place anyhow. Okay, so let's get into this video because we're going to need some time here to kind of delve into this. This subject, like I said, is it's a raw subject, but this subject is one that's been coming up with a lot of the readings, and it's a looping pattern that people tend to keep going back into over and over and over, and back into the same identity, false mask of this, lower density of this. So a lot of people ask out there, can my twin flame be a narcissist? Can my twin flame be someone who is considered an emotional vampire, dark empath, a vampire in terms of sexual energy too, as well, working off of sexual energy, addicted to porn, addicted to all things that are distorted sexually? The answer is yes. The answer is yes on that. Now, this video can really apply to people, whether or not you're in a twin flame connection or not. But some people may tend to be surprised that this shows up in a beloved connection, thinking, oh, this is all supposed to be true love. And if your twin is into that kind of dark stuff, then they just can't be your twin. And I'm going to tell you, that's just not true. Okay? For the actual truth of your beloved, that's going to be within you. It's going to be within your heart space. That is going to be, only you really know the answer to that. Sure, I have people's teams. I have Archangel Michael that step forward, and they like to reconfirm, but I'll let people know, this is how I'm receiving it. The real truth about this is really within you. Okay? You'll know. Okay, and if you have not known for some time, if you thought somebody was, and you find out, turns out, they're really not, then, hey, that's how the journey was meant to go. It's what your soul chose to learn. We have to be flexible with this journey. It's very, very true. But honestly, just getting back to twin flame, it really depends on your own inner experience to decipher the truth. It really is within your heart space. That connection is like no other connection in terms of how it works. Okay, it's a literal mirror. Getting back to some of this dark stuff, shadowy stuff, when it comes to narcissism and using the dark empathic power and the telepathic power in a distorted way, operating from sex in a distorted way with not only the beloved, in that case, even personally, but when the beloved is really engaged in some lower stuff. You know what I mean? Whether that lower stuff is with their current partner, obviously it's just based on need there and lust, surface level stuff, no deeper connecting, or whether they're out there as Casanova, they're out there with a whole bunch of women, they're out there with a whole bunch of men. Okay? And here you are, and you're in this mix of crud, right? Mix of a lower energy, okay? And lots of attachments with it, too. Does this happen? Yes, it absolutely does, okay? And first of all, before I get into some of the things that we need to consider with this, I have to say this. I know other channels have said this as well, and it's true that if you are staying in an abusive situation, if you are there and this person's hurting you, they are trying to control you, they are making you feel guilt, they're making you feel shame in order to get what they want, they're trying to lure you in, they're trying to guilt you into doing things that they want to do to make sure they always have the upper hand, and you keep giving over to that situation, and you've noticed that most of the connection between you two on the 3D level has been about sex, okay? And I don't mean sacred sex when I say sex. I don't mean sacred lovemaking, sacred connecting. If you know that there's been issues there, now's the time to really recognize where you stand in this and whether or not you are willing to recognize that it's not good for you and willing to pull yourself out of this toxic situation for the sake of having this shift. Okay, and if this person really isn't your twin flame, they won't come back. Okay, I have to put that in there because they won't rubber band back. So if you pull yourself out of the situation and it turns out they were a dark karmic after all, you're going to find out. You're going to find out. But as long as you stay in this toxic situation where you are allowing yourself to be used, where the balancing and giving is not it's not balanced, okay? That loop is going to continue. That pattern is going to continue, okay? It's time now to really look at certain things, and we're gonna talk about, how these types of things, addictions to sex, addictions to porn, being a narcissist, dark empath, a vampire, vampiric type of energy, where you're taking emotional energy, taking sexual energy, and the whole intoxication of it. How can this happen if this is true love? Well, we lose ourselves, not just one person. There's two, and there's two to tango, two to twin. We lose ourselves in ego, We lose ourselves within the pain. Okay, stories get created, identifying in a way which is so distorted that it's not who we are. It's not who we are. So you'll have on one side the person who is in this state of wanting to constantly give because they are feeling bad for the person. They just want to rescue them. They just want to make it better, baby. Oh, I just want to make it, oh, it's okay. You keep hurting me over and over again, and it's like, if I keep doing this, then somehow they'll see that this is a beautiful love, divine love, that I'm worth it. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work. Oh, if I keep giving to this person and giving, then they won't leave, and then that's good, because if they leave me, I couldn't handle it, and we're going to talk about the wounding that goes behind this, and how the other side of it will just keep on taking to feel better, taking emotional energy, taking sexual energy, okay, taking, while still being able to keep their toxic pattern going. So, what does that mean to your energies if you're giving in constantly to this situation and this person keeps on doing the vampirism? They keep on having you as a third wheel while having all these other sexual connections going, or even if it's a karmic, even if they're connecting to that one person and they're a learning partner that's a negative lesson, shadowy work. You have to remember that you're exposing yourself to a lot of different things. Lower energy entering your sacral chakra, entering your fields. Attachments. There are attachments. There are absolutely lower astral types of beings, satanic stuff that love dark sex energy, dark sex magic. We're going to go there in a moment with this dark sex magic. But they love that stuff, and you have to remember that when you're connecting, whether or not you're physically connecting sexually in that way, or you're telepathically engaging, and I don't mean where it's 5D higher sexual connecting, I mean where you are having the telepathy happen there, and it's lower sex, operating from a lower distorted place. That negative energy, that lower energy, is what it is, okay? And you, for the person who's watching this and you're holding space for your beloved who's going through, playing Casanova, playing, sexual emotional vampire and all of that, this can potentially make you sick. This can drain your life force, this vital force. This can cause you to have illness, be lethargic, have things like urinary tract infections, bladder infections. It can bring a whole bunch of stuff, you being the host for this. Okay? It is not at all a good idea to condone this type of behavior and just, put on the title, well, it's true love, so, it's alright. No, it's not alright. It's not alright. That's not in the higher love zone whatsoever. That's in the distorted zone. That's in the lower sexual zone. It's where lower energies love to work through that, connect to it. It's really time to pull yourself out of that situation so you can be able to recognize it and pull yourself out of that toxicity. So let's go to the ritual part. I want to make sure I'm covering this, but I don't want this to be a super long video. Let's go way back in time, okay? Way back in time. So many of you who watch this channel come from ancient civilizations. You have many lifetimes. Many of you are alchemists, divine magicians, okay? But in other lifetimes, being within the magical arts, shamanism, all these sorts of things, dealing with a lot of supernatural, we have had experiences where it has been less than friendly, We have had entanglements which have not been good for us. We have given permissions. We have taken spiritual vows in ways which have not been healthy, which have not been in higher ways. And, you know, some of that does include satanic stuff and satanic ritual and just getting too close to it and getting dragged into this kind of thing. You dance around long enough with it, you know, the learning lessons, the karmic lessons that go with it, you know, it's something that we take with us from lifetime to lifetime. All right. So where to start with this sort of thing? Well, because of the lifetimes that we have had, because so many of us are divine magicians and alchemists and medicine people, medicine men and women, it's always, always good to revoke and release anything that you can think of as far as spiritual vows, contracts, and promises where you have been involved or connected with dark magical groups, dark societies, dark rituals, dark sex magic, anything like that, right? Dark covens, vampire, witches, whatever whatever that would be considered dark. Okay, I'm not saying all witches are dark. Please don't take me wrong. I mean like dark stuff. Okay. We want to release and revoke those from all minds, all bodies, all timelines, all dimensions. Okay, and anywhere where there could be a connection with those groups, those beings, with that kind of energy. Got to think energy. We want to make sure those cords are dissolved. I love to do it in ultraviolet fire. I've known about the violet flame for a long time. I've come across Steve Nobel's work. Love you, Steve. Shout out to Steve Nobel. On YouTube, he has a million different transmissions that are fantastic. And one of my favorite ones actually is the ultraviolet fire or ultrafire angelic fire transmission. He has a dark portal one as well, but he loves to use ultraviolet fire to dissolve these contracts, dissolve these vows, dissolve any of those doctrines, dissolve all the cords, threads, hooks, ribbons of light, feeding tubes to beings who drain energy, all of that. We're disentangling ourselves. Really, each and every corner, each and every area, disentangling ourselves from density. And this plays in. Because if it's in the energy, then you end up operating from it. There's also lifetimes for many people where they've had sexual trauma. Unfortunately, you know, there could have been rape there, or someone could have been the rapist. So the sexual trauma also is something. Again, we go down the line of all of these things as far as giving permissions, contracts, vows, promises, cords, threads, hooks, ribbons of light, dissolve, 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 Akashic records, purify, 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 ultraviolet fire. Okay? So that's really a great broad way to go about it. Because we carry these things from lifetime to lifetime. They do bleed through, as I usually say. So if you've had sexual trauma, or if you've been entangled with sex magic and dark satanic stuff, and you've had attachments back in these other lifetimes, can they come into the current lifetime? Yes, they can. Yes, they can. Can you operate from that space, from that place, where all of a sudden you find that there are attachments and dark magicians or dark groups that get involved in your life, dark teachers? You suddenly find that you have porn addictions, or your beloved has porn addictions. Yes. Remember, it's all based off of energy. The physical reality is all based off of energy. So we want to take a look at those other lifetimes. The other thing to also mention too, from other lifetimes, which is an important one, is abandonment, rejection themes, betrayal themes. So, you know, for these, and there's codependency as well, codependency themes. And these often will play out. We'll have one person who, they're afraid of being abandoned. You know, here's an example. So they keep enabling the person who's taking their energy, or using them, or keep on, you know, telling them lies, believing their own lies even, and they keep their situation, all their sexual fun and intoxication, they keep going, they're trying to hide it, they're trying to tell you the things that you want to hear, and you just keep on trusting into it because you're afraid of being abandoned, you're afraid of this person leaving you forever, and for the other end, they could very well be afraid of commitment, right? Don't want commitment, I need my freedom so I can have my intoxication and my distractions. So, the two sides of the coin there. So we have to look at abandonment, that is something that plays out in other lifetimes between partners. Karma involved in there, right? A lot of times there's a third person that's involved in there. There's a triangle type of situation. That triangle situation could be abandonment, it can be betrayal, it could be rejection, and it can have the add-on of dark ritual magic, curses, bindings. Okay? I definitely have seen it many, many times. So we have to take into consideration that a lot of this stuff has not started here. Yes, this life, of course, contributes, but a lot of it doesn't even start here. It starts from these other lifetimes where it's the old karmic grid of the earth. Okay, so we have to look there, consider there. All right. Then we look at this lifetime. So in this lifetime, a lot of people have gone through some very deep wounding. Okay, so how's a narcissist born? How is somebody who can constantly just lets people control them? How is that born? Keeps on giving their power away, where they're always just giving someone the upper hand. How is that born? How does somebody have, this thought of, okay, I want to be with a lot of partners and have a lot of sex, and this is what it means, to have a great, fulfilling life. Like, how do we get there? How do we start making these stories? How do we start going into these false identities? Wounding, trauma. That's how. It all comes down to that, to be honest with you. Trauma and wounding and fear-based thoughts from this lifetime and others. Yeah. Okay, because energy, like attracts like. There's always a vibrational match of some sort. So if there's a situation that's going on and you're not fond of it and it's very toxic, well, there's energy to support it. So we have to get to the root causes itself. We do. Okay? So many of you have had wounding, okay? Two sides of the coin. Again, we have to look at it. Perhaps you come from an abusive household. Perhaps you have been sexually attacked. Okay, you've had sexual trauma. That could be for some people. All right. Believe it or not, for some people, that can make someone overly sexual. For other people, it can make them completely terrified of sex. But that could be a case in there. Perhaps you've had parents that were not very emotionally connected with you. Perhaps, you've had tons of abuse where you were told really bad things, you were judged, you were criticized, it stood with you. Perhaps you were bullied, perhaps your beloved was bullied, maybe you were both bullied, not only by, maybe it was family member bullying you, and perhaps the kids at school bullied you. And you started getting into this, I'm not good enough. You started getting into this, I'm not worth anything. I'm not deserving of anything. Perhaps there was so much of this pain and it got buried. Many people bury their wounds, bury their pain, bury their trapped memories. For a lot of people, this stuff is fragmented soul because of going through trauma. And when people are in pain, they develop these beliefs, they develop these stories, they develop these identities, and they hold and grasp onto that. And it's a way to not deal with the pain. Coping mechanisms, distractions such as having a lot of sex, vampirizing on other people's energies to try to get what you want, and trying to fill your own cup by taking from another. That's all due to just not feeling fulfilled within oneself. and the person that's enabling that situation and constantly being the host and constantly giving their power away, their emotions, their sexual energy, vital force and life force energy, and getting depleted, that's somebody who is also not in fulfillment, right? So we have these two sides that are in deep wounding and operating from deep trauma, deep distortions, and deep identity crisis, because one person over here, it's like, yeah, you're not seeing your power. You feel like you have to do A, B, and C in order to keep this person around, agree to what they're manipulating you or trying to make you think that you should do. We have this other person who is in this identity of, oh, I'm the man, or I'm the woman, I can get anything I want, and I need to have this in order to feel that quick hit, or to feel that intoxication, to get that high. I need to be able to have multiple partners, because that's just how I am. I'm put on this earth for that. I need to be seen by society for like this, like, sex god or sex goddess, right? I feel like I'm somebody. I feel like I'm validated. These are very, very distorted, and society itself, the 3D society itself, and how it's really, really added to the problem of sexual distortion and not loving the body or respecting the body, or finding value in one's unique form. That's a problem, and that adds in there too. So we have to go back to the core of how are we relating with ourselves, and to be real with our emotions. And for the emotions that are very, very painful, it's for us to, yes, we do have to rip that band-aid off. Okay, twin flames will trigger each other, and that band-aid will go, right? Because we trigger and we purge. And for your beloved that may be going through all this vampirism and taking energy and being a narcissist, and that they don't want that to be ripped open, right? So they keep running away and doing the same thing over and over again. But if you are watching this and you are the person that is constantly allowing that situation and not creating the healthy boundaries, and not looking into your own wounds, not looking into some of the things that have happened where you're not feeling respect for yourself, you're not feeling values, if you're not feeling beautiful, whatever it is, it's out of alignment with you, then this whole cycle of being out of alignment and being in separation, consciousness, and distortion will just continue. So one person has to kind of pull out of this toxic situation and regroup and really be with their wounds. And this will absolutely change the dynamic, change the energy of the dynamic, and that other person will have things crashing down, where they will have to deal with the emotions and the thoughts that are coming up that creating the coping mechanisms, created the distractions, created those distorted patterns to begin with. They will come up. So it's really to understand that when we go into these addictive tendencies, when we look for things outside of ourselves, that's why we take on these distorted entities, like being a vampire. This is why we take on the narcissism, where we act from being a narcissist, where we have to have the control at all times. We have to be right. We have to have the attention on us. This is why we do the things that we do, because it's doing it from a place of pain and suffering. It's doing it from a place also of inauthenticity. All right. So, if you are the person that's having these issues and you're finally realizing, you might go through a period of feeling guilt, feeling shame, feeling disgusted with yourself, but stay with yourself, send yourself the love and the compassion, that the reason why you engaged in these types of behaviors to try to satiate, your cravings, is because you didn't know how to really connect with yourself in a loving way, feel those emotions out, and really clear and heal the pain. And if you are allowing the situation, it's for you to understand you're worth so much more than this, and that if you've had abandonment or neglect wounding before, or sexual trauma before, then it's the time to really sit with that and be able to feel it through and work with tools such as the ultraviolet fire. I really love working with the ultraviolet fire. There's the violet flame. Steve Noble, who I absolutely love his work, his transmissions. He brought up about the new dispensation for ultraviolet fire, which is a more intense version, and it's able to purify all the things that we're talking about, guys. Archangel Michael, of course, there to cut cords, sever things. Okay, help to neutralize energy with his electric blue fire, also to help protect. Okay, if your beloved is in a situation where it's dark and it's dense, you want to protect even more. Okay, you want to seal your energies up and shield yourself. You want to cleanse yourself. You want to either cleanse yourself or go to somebody that can help you to cleanse. Okay, and get rid of attachments and projections and all that stuff that often comes with what we're talking about. And then really understand how to seal yourself and protect yourself multidimensionally. Okay, and you can place that on your beloved as well. Okay, so I'm going to keep it at that because I know we're at 30 minutes. But some things to think about. You can shift this if you're the person who knows that their beloved keeps on going into this pattern, and you keep on kind of going right back into, oh, I want to trust this person again. Eventually you will come to a place of trust that will heal too. But the rest of this really does have to be addressed first before you can establish a brand new clean slate and brand new trust. Okay, unconditional love, unconditional love, unconditional love, and compassion. But that doesn't mean that you need to continue to give your power away and continue to be treated in a low way. No bueno, because that doesn't put yourself in that place of, okay, I'm a sovereign being. I choose myself. I respect myself. Okay, and you're going to show up for yourself. It doesn't put you in that higher space. And somebody has to be there, right? And the other person can understand when the time is right. Okay. Thank you so much for listening. I'm available for private sessions, private readings, paranormalpriestess.com. Thank you so very much, each and every one of you. And remember, from the heart of the darkness is born the light. Brightest blessings. Bye-bye.